Alright, hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you guys game 1 in a series between Fly and Ted. Fly spawning as the red orc on the bottom left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we see a Ted spawning as the blue undead. Why am I speeding up the game? Well, I've cast like the first 4 minutes of the game, not realizing that my soundboard and my recording was not actually taking place. So there was actually no cast, even though I was doing expert analysis. Now, rather than trying to repeat myself, I am going to have to repeat myself. The Death Knight is really pretty much trying to prevent this Blade Master from getting any experience. Now, the Blade Master does a really smart move here from Fly, and he's actually going after the Null Brute on his opponent's side of the map. What he's going to be able to do here is get some creeping in without having to worry about that Death Knight's Death Coil. And now Ted is going to be wandering around the map, kind of wondering where his opponent is. At some point, the Blade Master is going to perhaps sell the Squirrel Town portal, pick up a Circuit of Nobility, and then continue on his merry way. The skeletal minions are going to try and harass inside the base, but they're not going to be able to do very much. Peons are inside those orc burrows, and more importantly, though, any low hit point unit can essentially just run inside the orc burrow and kind of wait out this time life. You can see there goes another unit there, and the skeletal minions are just falling here. The Blade Master getting in some extra experience by taking down those skeletal minions, as now you can see Fly is getting up to almost halfway to level 2 without any serious harassment. Now Ted, realizing that, you know what, I'm not going to find my opponent, this is now a good opportunity for me to in fact try and do a little bit of creeping myself. He's going to clear out this 533 creep camp, and in doing so, he's going to be very close to level 2 as well. As long as the Blade Master doesn't get to level 3, or you don't have like a 2-level difference between the two, then I would say that's actually a victory for the undead side. However, if there is a very large, if the Blade Master and the Death Knight are perhaps even on experience, then the undead is going to be that much better here, as the Circle of Nobility is picked up at just the right last moment, and the Blade Master is going to be looking for that extra experience. No, not going to go after the skeletal minion. You can see that the Blade Master sitting at level 2, getting in some Windwalk strikes onto this one poor unsuspecting Crypt Fiend. The Crypt Fiend has taken a fair bit of damage, and now what is this Blade Master really hoping to do? Trying to catch up to this Crypt Fiend here. Death Knight now going to make its way over. There's the Death Coil saving it, and we have a level 2 Death Knight against a level 2 Blade Master. We are still about even in terms of hero level, giving a slight advantage to Ted. Ted, however, is a little bit delayed in his tech to tier 2. You can see about halfway there. Meanwhile, the stronghold is already about 90% done. And that means that Fly is going to get up his Shadow Hunter much more quickly and perhaps be able to get raiders with that all-powerful Ensnare. Alright, Crypt Fiends are now looking to back off here. We should be setting up or starting to harvest and just sit on a bunch of gold and lumber, as you will eventually see a slaughterhouse and the training of that Lich. I wouldn't even be surprised to see a very fast tech to tier 3, as that Orb of Corruption is perhaps one of the best orbs, if not the best orb in the game, adding an additional -5 armor debuff every time you attack. Alright, let's take a look at this. The Grunt now attempting to get away. Let's take a look at where he's going to be going. There he goes. He is now running back off over here as the Blade Master trying to clear out this Rock Golem creep camp. Meanwhile, the Death Knight actually being very aggressive, attempting to creep out this Ogre Magi creep camp. So both sides doing a good job creeping out relatively high locations. Now the Death Knight, I believe, will not get to level 3. Meanwhile, the Blade Master will not get to level 3 either. And the Blade Master is surprisingly low on hit points as he is attempting to clear out this Ogre Warrior creep camp. Alright, Blade Master does finish off one Ogre Warrior. One Ogre Warrior is all that is left, as the Death Knight going to finish off this Troll Trapper. There you go. You see that he's about, what, 4 or exactly 38 experience away. Meanwhile, the Blade Master is 36 experience away from level 3. We are pretty much still neck and neck as we are going into that Lich. Lich is going to be extremely useful once you get that Frost Armor to essentially slow down the attacks of the Blade Master. The Blade Master wants to attack as quickly as possible, get more damage in, and anytime you're able to just slow down the unit and slow down the main DPS of the army, that does have a very profound impact on the game. All right, let's take a look at this over here. Blade Master is going to get to level 3 here. Once it takes down this Rock Golem, there's a Windwalk, or I believe that was a critical strike. And we are just fighting it back over here. Shadow Hunter now going to join in on the fight here. Are we going to see a Healing Wave or a Hex? Not 100% sure. Blade Master now sitting up at level 3, and he may decide to back off. No, he's actually, no, yes, he is going to be deciding to back off here, giving the Shadow Hunter the rest of that all-important experience. Death Knight now at level 3 as well. He does have level 1 Unholy Aura. Meanwhile, the Blade Master is nearby, and he is getting healed. Dust of Appearance has been purchased in order to counteract any sort of Crypt Fiend Burrow play, and perhaps to also deny the Death Knight from getting his own Dust of Appearance from this shop. However, that strategy doesn't necessarily work because, well, obviously, the Death Knight and the Undead Army has the ability to buy Dust of Appearance inside their own base. All right, here comes the aggression. Death Knight now coming in with the Orc Burrows and really going to try to shut them down. You can see 41/50 supply here as there is the engagement. Oh, Frost Armor. No Frost Armor yet on that Crypt Fiend. There it is, and now you can see how much slower that attack is. Now Speed Scroll being used as well. You can see this Crypt Fiend very, very low and now gets another Death Coil, and that's exactly what you wanted to see here with Ted. Ted wants to constantly just keep the units up as long as possible. Oh, it looks as though one Crypt Fiend, does barely stay alive. This Crypt Fiend, however, not going to be as lucky as the Blade Master. Going to go after that Crypt Fiend down to 6 hit points, and there it goes. Meanwhile, back over here, you can see a very, very slow Raider. Is it going to be able to get away? I do not think so. There it goes. It gets taken down, as the Lich is now still sitting at level 1, but that Frost Armor slow still much more difficult to handle. All right, Fly looking to back off here. Ted still looking to do a very strong push. There is that Frost Armor onto that Crypt Fiend, +3 armor, making it very difficult to get taken down. And are we going to see perhaps a grunt or two fall? Yes, there it goes. There is a Death Coil, and I believe the Death Coil was just in time for that Crypt Fiend to stay alive. Meanwhile, the Raiders are now backing off again. Very long, drawn-out fight here as the Obsidian statues do show up right on time to give mana and hit points to everyone on the Undead. All right, so far the Grunt is now being forced to back away. Lich still sitting at level 1. You can see him perhaps casting Frost Armor on as many units as he can. The Death Knight unable to get off a Death Coil, not enough mana, as it looks as though, yes, another Raider is going to fall. Blade Master still in this matchup here. You can take a look at the supply, 35/50 for the Orc. Undead must be in the 50/50 range with 3 Obsidian statues, Crypt Fiends, and 2 heroes. That just feels like the much superior army, even though one of the Crypt Fiends are now being slowly digested. All right, that one poor Kodo Beast gonna get taken down. The Crypt Fiend apparently able to see outside as it is getting digested, and it looks as though, yes, the Crypt Fiend does fall once more. Death Knight still sitting at level 3. Lich still sitting at, or now sitting at level 2, as the Crypt Fiends are gonna be, or maybe trying to push in here. All right, the Death Knight actually in a very good spot, prevented a lot of the units from getting straight to them, as the Shadow Hunter now sitting at level 2 needs to use some potions of mana and that Wand of Mana Stealing if it wants to stay ahead in the mana curve. You can see that the Orc army is now purposely positioning itself in a way where it's going to catch any units in transit. There is that Death Coil, 400 hit point heal. That Crypt Fiend taking a load of damage and still staying around. It looks like he finally will get taken down. There he goes, as the Crypt Fiend comes in with that critical strike. All right, very importantly, that Orb of Lightning does cast Purge possibly whenever you hit, and that is very effective against all the units here because it would also remove that Frost Armor. If you remove the Frost Armor for free because of that proc, all of a sudden you lose +3 armor, which is a significant amount of protection, and on top of that, you lose the ability to actually get slowed whenever you attack. However, Ted's army is still looking extremely strong here, still continuing this pressure. It looks as though Fly is going to be resulting in the GG here in just a moment. All right, let's see what's going to be happening next. Back off over here, you can still see a major fight going down. The Death Knight and the Kodos still going at it. The Crypt Fiends chasing after the Kodo, but we have almost reached critical mass on... I apologize. The Crypt Fiends have almost reached critical mass, being able to focus down a lot of those targets here. You can see one grunt may get taken down. Oh, the obsidian statue has been focused down, and it looks like, yes, there it's going to go. One grunt has been taken down. It looks like another grunt is going to get taken down, and now you can see just a massive army of Crypt Fiends in this battle. All right, there's the Death Coil saving the unit again. No frost armor for some reason. There you go, finally getting the frost armor onto the unit, and Ted looks like he's just going to have a relatively easy game so far as the Blade Master falls at level 3. There is the GG, and Ted taking game 1 very impressively here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.